Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. How are you? Happy Friday. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi, and I lead School's Eye on the Valley. So glad to be here. You know, I always love right when the show's starting up because it's just my weekly reminder that it's Friday morning. We're sliding into a weekend. And there's always just so many great things going on in Santa Clarita on the weekend. You know, we've got a ton going on this weekend. Let me talk about that in just a second. But before we do, I just want to remind you that our show, Eye on the Valley, is brought to you by SCVi and iLead Schools. We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've got a fully accredited online school. We've got a home study program that is just blowing up like crazy. It's called iLead Exploration. You know, my friends often ask me, charter schools, how are they different from public schools? Wrong question. Charter schools are public schools. Okay, so what's the tuition at your school? Wrong question again. Charter schools are free public schools, just like your local district school. There's a few differences, though. We get a little bit more autonomy, and we can do what we know is right by kids. And then we also kind of blow the borders to our schools wide open. So pretty much, if you can hear my voice, you can attend any one of our 6 schools. And what 6 schools, might you ask? Well, I tell you what. We don't have time on the air today to talk about all 6 of them. We're going to be talking about one of them at length here. Why don't you, while you're listening, just pull up iLeadSchools.org. That is iLeadSchools.org. You can take a look at all 6 of our schools there. We've got classroom-based schools. We've got virtual schools, home study, hybrid. We've got everything that your child needs. How do I know? Well, because we've got so many different options. There's bound to be one of them that meets your needs, your child's needs. So again, check it out at iLeadSchools.org. So yeah, we like to keep our eye on education here in Santa Clarita and across the nation. But like the show says, we keep our eye on the valley as well, bringing you everything you need to know about what's what here in the valley. And we do it all while trying to bring a smile to your face. Because, you know, kids, I tell my boss that if I can't giggle and goof off a little bit while I'm doing it, I'm not going to do it. So you take that to Miss B when you head into class today. Happy Friday, y'all. Things are heating up. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? And yeah, I'm not just talking about the weather, although it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous weekend. Yes, this is why your taxes and mortgage are so high. The weekend is going to be incredible here in the valley, but what's heating up is our social calendar. There's probably 4 or 5 different incredible events going on that you need to be attending this weekend. All of them going to be fun, inspiring. You can bring the kids to. You can bring the dog to a couple of them. There's going to be some great events. There's something for the whole family this weekend. So we're going to get into that a little bit later in the show. I wanted to dedicate an entire segment to all the different things happening in Santa Clarita this weekend. If you've got plans, clear your calendar because there's definitely at least 2 or 3 events that you need to get to this weekend. But like I said, we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. Coming up on Eye in the Valley, we've got some special guests in studio. We've got Ally Benedetti, 8th grade teacher at SCVi Charter School, along with 2 of her students. They just completed a really exciting project at their school that they're here to talk about. You are not going to believe this one. Then, in hour number 2, we'll be talking to Kevin McDonald. You know Kevin. It seems like Kevin is on every other show here on KHTS. He's the CEO of the Santa Clarita Senior Center, and they've got the most absolutely amazing services. If you haven't been to the Senior Center, I don't care how old you are, book a tour, go take a look at what they're doing. They're doing amazing things, and Kevin's doing his best to get the word out. And they've got a great event going on this weekend themselves. So they're hosting their biggest annual event this year, and he's got an opportunity for you to attend. I'm going to be there. You're going to want to check it out as well. So we're going to share plenty of details about that and all of the other events going on in and around town. And yes, girls, do you have siblings? Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah.
I've got a brother, and my mom, she doesn't let me have nice things of my own. So she makes me put my stupid brother on the radio show at the end of the show every week. And he comes in and he goofs off, and he usually gets in trouble, and he gets me in trouble too. And engineer Jen tries to keep him in check, but you got to do what mom says, right? So yeah, but yeah, you're going to take something away from the show, whether it's a little bit of cringe from my brother or a few things that you learn or laugh about. You're going to be inspired. So I tell you what, pour that second cup of coffee and settle in a little bit. We're going to ease into the weekend this Friday morning. As I said, my first guests this morning represent this year's 8th grade class at SCVi Charter School on the west side of town. It's just off of Nichole Ranch Road. We say it's in Castaic, but it's right there. It's on the bubble. It's right off of Nichole Ranch Road, right? So, but these folks have literally been reaching the sky recently, or they're about to. Ally Benedetti is an extraordinary educator. She's been with iLead for a little while, and she's joined by two of her 8th grade learners, Nichole Sanchez and Angelina Frederick. Ally's class, check this out, has been learning to fly in school. Yeah. Tuition-free, public charter school. They're learning to fly along with all the other state standards. That's right. So they're here to tell you all about it. Ladies, welcome to Eye on the Valley. Good to have you.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for having
Ally,
us.
you're chalking up some frequent flyer miles here on Eye on the Valley. I think you were here just about a month ago talking about the theater arts program, weren't you?
Yeah, we're really excited for our production at the end of May.
So you've got a production. Why don't you just reset that real quick? What have you got coming up at SCVi at the end of May?
So on May 31st and June 1st, the lower school players, so 4th grade through 8th grade, will be doing their musical production of Treasure Island. So if you like pirates, if you like adventure, if you'd like to giggle and have some fun, you should come join us then.
Very cool. Singing pirates. I love that. Fantastic. So Ally, let's let our listeners get a little bit to get to know you just a little bit. How long have you been a facilitator with iLead or with SCVi, and what brought you to our school? How'd you find us?
So I've been with SCVi for 2 years. iLead for 5. After I finished my credentialing program, I was looking for something that was a little less traditional. That's what I did my program with. That's what I did all my student teaching. And I did a lot of substitute teaching in traditional classes. And it just didn't seem like the best fit for myself or learners. And when I found a project-based school system, that's truly where I fell in love. And I totally emphatically believe in project-based learning and how you can create these cross-curricular projects that still meet state standards, but very much give you real-world application and skill sets that you can use later on. My kids don't ask, how am I going to use this later?
Right. That's a question that it literally never comes up in our classrooms because they're not worried about how they're going to use it later. They're worried about how they're going to use it right now. It's interesting you say that you were looking for something a little less traditional. I have, I've been a supervisor for student teachers for a number of years now. And something that I often hear is, okay, I'm student teaching now. When am I going to use all this stuff that I've been learning in my credential program? Project-based learning, social emotional learning. And oftentimes what they're hearing in the traditional schools is, yeah, they teach you that in your credential program, but we don't really, but at SCVi, it's almost like that smooth transition out of, what you're learning on the cutting edge of education and going straight into our school. So let me get to your learners, Ally. We call our students learners. We call our teachers facilitators. Not that you're qualified any differently, still highly qualified like the state requires, but we like to reframe the roles there at SCVi. So your learners are Nichole and Angelina. Ladies, you're both in 8th grade. So tell me how long you've been with SCVi.
So me and Angelina have been in SCVi for about a year now. So this is our first year.
This is our first year here.
Okay,
Yes.
both of you just joined this year. This is
Yes.
your first year at SCVi, so that'll be interesting. So did you come from a district school? Were you in private school previously?
Well, we came from a military school, actually.
Oh, are you sisters?
No.
No. Okay, so you both came to SCVi at the same time. Did you
Yes.
both come from the same military school?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually met in 7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So kind of as friends, you made this
Yeah.
decision on your own. Why the decision? What made you switch to SCVi?
Well, for me, my family wanted, to give me more opportunities. They wanted me to have like more experience, like me able to like learn more stuff, me going outside my box.
Uh-huh.
So she was like looking around schools and, she found this school and we went to the open house and she really liked it. It was really interesting. The teachers were nice. The school was nice in general. The kids were like having fun. They were open-minded.
Okay.
So my mom chose that school and it's really nice now.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're there. So can you maybe share with our listeners that don't necessarily know, like I went to the traditional district school, kindergarten through 12th grade, and I wouldn't know any different. So what's the difference between maybe the schools you've attended previously and SCVi?
I think the difference is how eager they are to help you.
All right.
Because at some other schools, like sometimes the teachers don't really they'll give you an assignment and they wouldn't really care what you do with it.
Okay.
And I feel like at SCVi, they take their time with you. If you don't understand, they'll sit down and have a conversation with you. They'll make sure they'll do like anything in their power they can to help you out. And let's say like I'm failing one of my classes, Miss B would sit down with me, tell me what I'm missing, help me
Okay.
work on it, and then I'll get my grade up. So I feel like they're very eager to help you.
Ally, that's got to warm your heart. That is, that is super sweet. That's kind of why we go into this profession, right? Is to help kids and to change lives. But something happens along the way sometimes. I don't know. So, Ally, we invited you and your learners to talk about this amazing project that you've been putting on for the last few years at SCVi. You talked a little bit about project-based learning and this project that you guys are, watch what I do here, launching, you've already launched. You're kind of halfway through, maybe a little bit more, is really kind of the epitome of project-based learning. And we're going to get into the details in just a little bit. You started earlier talking about project-based learning, but can you explain to our listeners kind of what it looks like? What are the components of project-based learning? What's the why behind it, and what makes it so effective in the classroom?
So project-based learning really is creating something authentic, something where your learners are going to have deeper thought into what you're doing. It all starts with a driving question that isn't Googleable. You have to dive deeper into it. So it's really about the end results is growth. And it's through so much more than just giving a worksheet and having them fulfill that obligation. So everything builds on each other. Everything is so intertwined with it. And it's within units that they grow. And they have this final culmination where they showcase their learning in a presentation. And it can happen different ways. Our way at the end of this was a sort of like a science fair where they had to become these mini experts in a certain subject that they got to choose from, and then they had to present their findings in a way, and they had to create their own tangible object to showcase their learning from and be able to explain it to others. That's the biggest thing. They have to be able to explain their growth and their journey, and it's not just about taking the test at the end and showcasing it that way. It's really about that communication skills and having these skills that you can bring later on. So it also includes experts in the field coming in and talking to them, because I'm not a glider pilot. I'm not a pilot, but I bring them in to talk to them.
Fantastic.
And so it's creating these opportunities and these connections that they'll have for the rest of their lives, and giving them an opportunity to see this is where this science can take you.
Right.
If you're interested.
Right. Yeah. I remember growing up, we all knew, right? You would work on a unit for a while and maybe watch a video and have some lectures and, like you said, do some worksheets, take the test, and then you can forget it, right? Because you're moving on, and you knew your teacher was throwing away your work anyways because it no longer had any value. It didn't have purpose. But project-based learning really gives our learners those experiences that they use to build their personal and professional repertoire. And so you started to hit on it. You're in the midst of what we call the Glider Project. So can you tell us a little bit about the project? How many years have you been facilitating this project?
So this is my third year of facilitating it, but it's been going on, I think, for 6 years at SCVi alone. And it has grown throughout the years and created more depth in it. So it's now integrated where every single subject is a part of it. So we not only learn the sciences behind aviation and aeronautics, but you're also learning the history of aviation. So we go through how it grew from just looking at a bird and wanting to be up there too, to we're in space now. How are we creating these rovers going to other planets and giving technology back to us? And we're integrating their writing skills and research skills. They have mathematics because they have to learn the glide ratio of how you have to land your glider. If you don't understand all these things, you can't be an effective pilot.
And that's complex, real learning. So it's not that you're, taking a pause out of the learning that they're supposed to get in 8th grade. It's all being incorporated into something that, I can imagine is fun. It's engaging. It's exciting. Speaking of fun, engaging, exciting, I understand that you've kind of bonded. Ally, I've watched you over your career, and you have a knack for bonding with all of your classes. But a little bird told me that you might have a little special place in your heart for this year's 8th grade class. What makes them so unique? What are you enjoying about this year's class?
They're fearless. They don't mind being wrong. They kind of jump in full force. They ask questions, and they're good questions, some of which I have to go and research, which I love. Anything that makes me start thinking more is great too, because it just opens up a whole different dialogue and sphere into this, because if they want to know it, I want to be able to give it to them. And they're just so authentic and so involved in what we're doing. It's amazing. It is probably my favorite class. I will say that. I'm not supposed to, but it has been one of my most enjoyable years of teaching.
Yeah, shh, don't tell the 9th graders. Don't tell the class from last year. I love that thought that you said, that they're fearless and they don't mind being wrong. That's building that scientific mind, that open-mindedness for true discovery. So I mentioned that this glider project that you're working on, it's kind of the epitome of project-based learning. We try to make all of our projects this authentic and unique, but it's not always easy. So tell us what makes this one so unique and special, Ally.
I think because they actually get to go fly a glider at the end. So our original glider flights were postponed because it was snowing in Tehachapi.
Oh.
So they've been postponed for May 11th and 12th. So it is Mother's Day weekend. And it's just a really great opportunity. They also get to meet with pilots from the Air Force. They come, there's a glider on campus. So for those that choose not to fly, they still can sit in a glider, get that experience. We have simulators in our class, so they get that experience too, but they have to learn everything that goes into it before they do that.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very important. We can't put the experience before the learning, but,
Yes.
and I understand that there was another experience related to that came prior to this project. I want to talk about that as well. We do need to take a quick break. 8th grade facilitator with SCVi, Ally Benedetti, joins me this morning, along with two of her learners, Nichole Sanchez and Angelina Frederick. We'll talk more to them and about them learning to fly and reaching for the stars and beyond. Right after this, I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I'm joined this morning by 8th grade facilitator with SCVi, Ally Benedetti, and two of her learners, Nichole Sanchez and Angelina Frederick. And Ally, you really used the nomenclature well last break when we we didn't really explain, but we demonstrated why we call our teachers facilitators. It's funny, I used to, when our school was a baby charter school, people used to wag their finger at me and say, Matt, you call them facilitators because they're not real teachers. Not true. We have the same credentialing requirements that any other public school does. We call them facilitators because of exactly what you said. You are not an aerospace or flight expert. You, I'm going to guess, have very few hours up in the air, if any at all. So you don't teach the kids to fly. You don't teach the kids about aeronautics. You facilitate a project where the kids take control of their own learning and really dive headfirst into it. So tell our listeners a little bit about, actually, let me skip down just a little bit. So we talked about project-based learning and what that looks like for our learners. But I was mentioning during the break, you guys worked on a different project before you got into the glider project, something about the moon or something like that. Can you talk to us about that project?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It was our first year doing this project. They had tried it a couple years ago, but we definitely have progressed it this year, and it has spread to the other iLead locations as well.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, it'll be a school competition with each other.
Cool.
But it's called Space Accelerator.
All right.
Yeah, and it's all about how, if we were to go and colonize the moon, what would you need there?
Okay. That's a really good point, because, all right, we're going to go live on the moon. You don't just show up and start building, right?
Yeah.
You can't go to the moon and start chopping down trees and building homes and things like that. So So, ladies, tell us about this project. What did you work on? What did you do on this project?
So during this project, we kind of had steps to guide us. It was like us learning about space and all and how it works, like the gravitational force and stuff. And
All right.
our project was basically, how, like, what would you do, like, to, like, help colonize the moon? So for me and my group, because we were selected into groups.
Uh-huh.
So my group, we did kind of like a recycling greenhouse. So, you would recycle plants, but you'd also humidify the water. So it'd recycle plants and water.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you work on that same project as well?
We worked on the same project, but just different things. So I did moon boots.
Boots?
It's like to help protect your feet on the moon because of the crazy temperatures in the moon.
Okay.
Because it can go, I think, if I'm not wrong, below negative 200 degrees. And then
Yikes.
above 200 degrees as well. So, like, the temperature is very crazy.
That is, that's
Yeah.
pretty extreme. So you were working on a team with other learners. Was that easy for you to incorporate, or were there some struggles working on your teams?
I think it takes like getting used to at first because
All right.
when I first got into my groups, I didn't really know anybody.
Okay.
But even if like I didn't know the people in my group, they still helped in where they could with me because honestly, at first I was pretty confused on this.
Okay.
So everyone kind of contributed into like helping one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like what's really cool about these like table groups.
Okay.
So like everyone contributes into something.
Yeah, so it's not just like one person like working on something. It's like everyone is doing like their part. Everyone's helping in the group, They're making sure like no one is left behind. We're all talking. We're all open-minded. We're hearing out everyone's ideas, So like after that, we just kind of like put everything together and we make it work.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear because it doesn't
Yes.
always work out that way. It can
Yeah.
it can be complicated sometimes, but those are those real life issues that you've got to work out.
Yeah.
I hopefully producer Sarah's not listening, but I don't always get along with the group that I work with at work, and you've got to iron those issues out. Just kidding. I love you, Sarah. So how did you decide? Because you came up with very different projects, right? If someone were just to throw it at me, hey, we're going to the moon. What do we need? I don't know. I'd scratch my head for probably 6 weeks. So how did you decide what prototype or what thing to come up with?
Well, me and my group decided on a greenhouse because one, it would take a lot to bring water, and it runs out quickly. And, you would also need food, vegetables, I guess, fruits, plants, So me and my group were like, okay, we could recycle something, and if it's a greenhouse, plants. So we kind of came up with that idea. We made a prototype about it that one of our like learners, I guess, did, and it came out like really cool. It was kind of like a little like shuttle shelter, I guess.
Oh,
like she put a straw through it, like water came out of it. It was really cool.
Wow. So not just a like, you're not just using Play-Doh and
No,
making
like,
a pretend house. You're building a legit prototype.
Yeah. So her name is Michelle. She got kind of like a container, I guess, and it was kind of like a dome.
Huh?
She kind of put like fake grass. She put like little plants. She got a straw, and then at the bottom of it there was water, so the water would like go through like in it and then
It
come
would
out.
cycle
Yeah,
through.
so it'd cycle through like a recycling
Very
greenhouse.
cool. So you went straight to the basic necessities. If we're going to the moon, we need food and water. How are we going to do that?
Yeah.
And then you dove right in, and I'm sure that took a tremendous amount of research and
Yes.
and reading. So how'd you come up with the idea for the boots?
Well, my group had a different thought process.
All right.
But they thought of things that we more commonly use, like shoes, clothes, stuff like that. And then I guess everyone in my group was really into shoes.
Okay.
So,
All right. I like it.
Shoe
I
lovers,
like
we're shoe
it.
lovers. But we thought if we could design a shoe that was comfortable, it could adjust to like the temperatures
Sure.
in space, and it would like easily keep you placed on the moon, like when you step foot on it. We thought that'd be a very cool project to do. We made a prototype. It was we used cardboard, but it still did the job.
I want to remind our listeners that we're talking to 8th graders this morning. It really is amazing the level of thought and complexity and the real world, not even real world, the tomorrow world problems that you're tackling today. I'm talking to Nichole Sanchez and Angelina Frederick, along with their teacher, their facilitator, Ally Benedetti from SCVi. So you moved on from the Space Accelerator, and all right, we figured out how we're getting to the moon. Let's figure out how, a step to get there, how we're just going to get up, not into space, but up into the air. You're working on this glider project. Talk to us about your experience in the glider project.
So the glider project was, I think, my favorite project that we've done throughout the school year. It was really exciting. It was cool to experience new things, to learn about different things, because in a normal school, you don't really learn about gliders, aviation, and just stuff like that. So it was like a good experience to learn.
So you're learning the principles of aviation. And when you say gliders, it's funny. When someone first brought this project up and said, yeah, our kids are going to be flying gliders, my first response was, oh, I love that. I used to do that when I was a little kid. We would build them in our backyard and we would throw them across the yard. And they said, no. That's not what we're talking about. When I say glider, what do we mean by glider? What is a glider?
A glider is like a plane, but it has no engine. So it is the safest form of flight.
It is wait a minute. Okay. I'm about to get on an airplane. I'm going on a trip here in a couple of weeks. And if the pilot comes on and says, all right, you're in luck. This is the safest airplane out there. We got no engine. I'm thinking, I'm getting off. How is it the safest form of flight if you got no engine and you're going to be a mile up in the air?
Yeah, you're going to.
And you got no engine.
Got no engine.
How is that safe?
Well, it uses the forces of gravity. We have 4 forces
Right. That's what I'm worried about is the forces of gravity.
But it uses thermal air, if I'm not wrong. So it does go based off the weather. That's why when it was very cold, very snowy over there, we couldn't go over there to fly. Because it wasn't safe.
Yeah, because we want to make sure it's like the good amount of weather, not too like cold, make sure there's like some wind, so you could like just glide.
Yeah. The weather is important.
Yes.
It's very important.
Kobe, rest in peace. Oh boy, it got dark there real quick. Jeez. So you guys are learning all about the principles of flight. You've been on flight simulators. What's that been like? You've got simulators in your 8th grade classroom. Come on.
Yes, we do.
So what's that like?
Well, I haven't done it. At least I hope I do it today.
There we go, Miss B.
But it's really cool. I see other kids doing it, and it has like all the instruments like on it. It shows like how you take off, how you land. It's really cool. Like if you mess up, because I have there was a kid named Diego. He was like flying it, and I don't know how, but he was like barely up in the sky and he crashed. Oh. It was so bad. It took him like Diego. So many tries to like get up.
Okay.
But yeah, but it's really cool because it shows you like how to get up, how to go down, how to fly, Okay. It has like rudder pedals.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the simulators are not just a video game.
Yeah.
It has all the mechanics that you would have in your glider. So the gears are the gauges are all on the screen. So if you're not reading them correctly, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
If you're not using your rudder pedals, you're going to crash. If you try to land without applying your air brakes, you're going to crash. So it teaches that in a safe way because not all my kids want to fly in the glider, and that's their option. It's an optional thing.
I love that, by the way.
And so they all can still have that opportunity to do at least part of it, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah. So they get that experience of flying, even if they're a little nervous about doing it.
Yeah.
All right. So ladies, are you going to fly?
We unfortunately will not be flying.
Oh, no.
But
okay.
I'd say that if we were to, we'd definitely be prepared because of the steps that we've taken, the research that we've done, It's like we go more into it than just like the plain information. Like you dive deep into it, You understand it and they make you understand it in a good way. Like in an easy an easy way, like for you to remind yourself, because sometimes you could be explaining something and you won't remember it, but if there's a way that you could put it for somebody to remember it, that's helpful.
It's that experience.
Yeah,
I think that's what I really like about this project too, is that they don't just put you in the glider blind. You don't know, they're not going to put you in a glider with you not knowing what you're doing.
Sure.
So we'll watch videos on how to turn, how to understand what the different instruments mean. And the instruments are how fast you're going, if you're going, where you're heading.
Yeah, how high you are, the altitude and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, it lets you know everything like that. So I really like that they don't put us into it blind. We take notes on how to turn, how to land, and then we don't just know what to do, but we know more about the glider itself, what everything in it does.
Yeah.
The elevator, the
rudder,
the rudders,
the
everything like that. They're all connected in a way,
Yeah.
and we learned about that. So I find that really cool.
That is fascinating. And you're learning all your 8th grade standards, but you're
Yes.
building them into these projects that, well, how are we going to colonize the moon? And you're learning to fly. These are
Yeah.
all some really exciting, aerospace themed things. Has it gotten the two of you interested in perhaps a future in aerospace?
Well, it is really interesting, but me personally, I don't think I would see myself more. But if anyone does like aviation or stuff like that, I would recommend it because it is really interesting to learn about. I was like excited to learn about this, and that's usually weird because I'm not really excited about like schoolwork. So it was like really interesting for me.
This is why SCVi exists, folks.
Yeah.
I'm not really excited about schoolwork, but what we're learning at this school is
because it's
very
interesting.
exciting.
Like you don't normally get to experience this in other schools. They just give you like a paper and then go do it and turn it in. Okay, you get your grade and that's it. Like here, like it's like different like steps to it. Like it's like.
And that's what school is for, is to figure out what you're interested in and what you're not, to get that
Yeah.
experience and then have the opportunity to say, yeah, I really want to do that, or not interested. Speaking of which, Ally, you mentioned this glider project's been going on for quite a few years at SCVi. Have you seen any learners go on to high school or maybe even beyond that's taken the excitement of this glider project into perhaps a career?
Yeah, absolutely. I know for a fact one of the first ones is now a commercial pilot.
Yeah.
We have Jordan Soto, who's in our high school right now, is a sophomore. He's about to finish their hours to get their licensing. So
Yeah.
I think they only have 1 or 2 more
Yeah.
hours. And we had a guest speaker, Grace, who was that spoke with them, and they're 16.
Yeah,
And
they're
they have
16.
their license. So that's been really interesting to see. And then our high school is actually going to be starting an aerospace program next year to continue this on, which I think is going to be a beautiful elevation of what we're doing. And the aerospace project has actually been done at different levels this year, K through 8.
Yeah, and I love
so it's
that.
such a beautiful thing just to see the progression.
Yeah, the directors really wanted to make sure that there was that progression, especially living here in Southern California. We're, not too far from Edwards Air Force Base, and it's something that I didn't realize. We've got over 70 aerospace companies located right here in Santa Clarita.
Really?
Yeah.
Just in
There's
Santa
one
Clarita?
right
Just in
next to
Santa
our
Clarita.
school.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
wait, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, there's several of them right there next to our school. And so it really is helping prepare our kids for careers in that. The program that you were talking about, we actually received, I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago. We received some state funding to develop that career and technical education program. And so, yeah, we're preparing kids starting in kindergarten. Yeah, here, take a paper airplane. Yeah, get curious about that because you're going to get some experience. And ladies, this isn't the only experience that you're getting. I understand you're also working on the yearbook this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So the yearbook design tech is run by a 6th and 7th grade teacher. Her name is Miss Vincent. What we do is we kind of go around classes, see what they're doing, see all the fun activities that's going around, take pictures. We might ask them like silly questions for them, we'll write it down. What's your favorite fast food?
Right.
What's your favorite like clothing brand? It's just stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very fun. We like to make the yearbook mean something.
Uh-huh.
So I think the theme for our yearbook was climbing mountains,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong. So it's to help us like you can, if you start something, you can get through it.
Like you could overcome an
an
obstacle.
obstacle like that. Yeah.
I love that.
I like we have a meaningful theme to it, and then we like to make the yearbook as fun as possible.
Yeah.
And everything like that.
Yeah. Ally, I think that really is the big difference with SCVi. You put so much in the learner's hands there. We heard, you didn't assign them a moon project. Here, you're going to do boots, you're going to do greenhouse, whatever. It's you put it in their hands and say, what do you want to work on? What do you want to develop? Same thing with the yearbook. It's really empowering, isn't it?
Absolutely. And they chose to be on it. It wasn't,
Right.
hi, you're going to go be on yearbook. They get to choose which design tech they wish to be on. So it's SCVi. There's a middle school council. There's a yearbook. There's a film club where they actually make films. There's film clubs where we dissect them. So we have opportunities for them to grow in different ways in which they are interested in.
Wow, that is fantastic. Ally Benedetti, 8th grade educator extraordinaire. Nichole and Angelina, I want to thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I know I was going to say, I know you have to get to school, but it sounds like from your experience, now you get to go to school. Super exciting. When we get back, I'm going to tell you all about some of the incredible and exciting things happening, well, around town this weekend. There's so much going on. You're not going to want to miss it. In fact, you're going to want to start Googling some stuff so that you can get tickets. I'm Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We'll be right back on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We just chatted with Ally Benedetti from SCVi. She's an 8th grade facilitator. She was here with Nichole and Angelina, two of her students, and they're working on some amazing projects at SCVi. It was really exciting to see. You know, I think 8th grade is kind of where apathy in school really peaks, right? It's just not feeling it, want to be with my friends, and oftentimes, they can start to see some irrelevance settling in from their studies. I'm not really interested in this. We saw the exact opposite from these two young ladies this morning. So if you're interested in enrolling your child at SCVi, or maybe you're not quite there yet, but you're a little curious, you can schedule a tour, or you can fill out the enrollment application. SCVi, I believe their enrollment is locked up for the rest of the year. I could be wrong. So if you need to make a move right now, give it a shot. But we are definitely enrolling for next year. Check them out at iLeadSantaClarita.org. That's iLeadSantaClarita.org. SCVi is easier to remember, so just Google SCVi. We're going to be the top hit there on Google, so go ahead and check them out. If you look at the bar up at the top of the webpage, you can see where you can sign up for a tour. You can get more information from the amazing office staff, or you can fill out the application now. Life hack. If you think you're even remotely interested, I'm going to encourage you to fill out the application now, and that gets you up, on the wait list right away. And then you can take a tour. There's no deposit required because we are a tuition-free school. And then, if you decide later on that you don't want to, then you could just pull your application. It's no big deal.
Well, I have an 8th grader at home too, and I've said this before. I'm always so impressed with how well spoken they are. Yeah. They're so calm, and they have their thoughts, kind of already formed. They, and I love my 8th grader that I have, but he's a typical boy, and, bruh, he speaks in grunts,
Sure.
So yeah. We're working on the eloquent part of speech. Yes. So I'm very impressed with how the students really carry themselves. They do a great job.
Well, we kind of get that whole fear of speaking out of the way. We actually calculated a while back. I think if we said if you attend SCVi from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, which you can because we're a comprehensive now TK through 12th grade school, but if you attended our school all the way through, there's something like between 75 and 100 public presentations that you make.
Wow.
So fear of speaking in public, we just squash that.
It's over. Yeah. That's great.
So the kids do interact with a lot of other students, a lot of other adults, and so they just get comfortable with it, right? Because that fear of speaking, that fear of being in public settings, that's learned, right? So it's not that we teach kids not to, we just don't teach kids to
how to
be afraid of it. Sure. right? So I mentioned earlier in the show, Jen, there's a lot going on this weekend in and around town. There's so much to choose from. You and I were talking about what are we doing this weekend. I don't think you or I have the bandwidth to hit everything that's going on, but there is something for everybody. First of all, if you're looking for a job, COC's job fair is today, right after our show. So as soon as we sign off, you can head out to COC, check it out. iLead's own Autumn Calthron will be out there recruiting folks for our team if you're interested in a career in education or educational support. So you check it out at COC at 10 o'clock this morning. And then tonight, there's an event that I'm going to. I always get excited about this one. It's the 40th Annual Teacher Tribute. Academy of the Stars is taking place at the COC Performing Arts Center, the COC PAC. We've got some of the most amazing teachers in the world. We just spoke with one of them. Ally Benedetti is absolutely amazing, but we've got a ton of just incredible teachers here in the Santa Clarita Valley. And tonight we will be honoring and celebrating the absolute finest Each honoree tonight is selected by their peers. So I love that, right? It's not the boss or anybody like that picks these folks, but each teacher has been selected by their peers to represent their school as their school's teacher of the year. It's always exciting. And then they'll go on to become teacher of the year for their district. And then perhaps we've had several statewide teachers of the year recently come out of the Santa Clarita Valley.
That's great.
So, so if you're interested in honoring teachers, because they, gosh, especially post-pandemic, they do so much and for so little reward. But tickets are on sale. It's not expensive, $25 for adults. The kiddos are free. The celebration starts at 6:15. They've got social hour that starts at 5. So I'm gonna show up a little early, hang out with some of my colleagues and some of those teachers, and have some cheese on a stick before we head inside. But yeah, come on out to COC and honor our teachers. All weekend long, Triumph's 11th annual Wheelchair Sports Festival is taking place. Triumph Foundation hosts this free event to introduce wheelchair sports to people that are newly injured, veterans, children, and others with disabilities. It's a heartwarming weekend with Triumph. So check it out. You can see all these things on the KHTS website. That is hometownstation.com, and just look up what's going on this weekend. And speaking of what's going on, I think that's about it, right, Jen?
Oh, yeah.
No. The station is absolutely abuzz this morning. We've got the 13th annual KHTS Home and Garden Show and Emergency Expo coming up this weekend. Jen, are you working the expo?
I will be there, yes. Both days it's all hands on deck, I think.
Yeah, it really is. I'm trying to find engineer Andrew, and he seems to have disappeared. He's up
gone.
at the park already.
He's setting up tents, I think.
Yeah.
Manual labor.
So there's tons of booths going up. Folks representing all different things. They've got arts and crafts.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm always excited about the butterfly tent.
Butterfly tent will be great. There's a petting zoo, I'm told by Gilcrest Farms. I think the SCV Water Company is hosting the butterfly tent. Over 450 vendors, I believe. And there's going to be, so it's free to get in. Keep that in mind.
I love that.
But some of the craft tents will be accepting payment for their.
So bring a couple of bucks in your wallets, because there's going to be crafts. There's going to be different,
and there's
things
going
to
to be food, of course.
Of course, the Emergency Expo. The different emergency trucks are going to be out there. They got the Jaws of Life. They're going to be cutting into a car. That's always an exciting.
And the Corvette Club as well.
That's right. I forget about the Corvette Club. Yeah. That's always exciting. There's literally something for everyone.
Sure.
Literally multiple things for everyone. Bring the kids. You're going to have a great time. It's always just such a pleasant event, right? Just hundreds and hundreds of families milling around. You're going to run into your friends and neighbors and, grab something from a food truck. And
grab the food truck. But I like the idea of, gosh, I've been wanting to do something in my house. I just don't know where to start. Do I go online? Do I start Googling? I think it's really great to be in person with a potential customer, a potential client on both sides, and you can kind of get a feel for their personality. Is this going to be a good fit? And, let me see some of your products in person. It's a good way to really start a professional relationship, I think.
Yeah, and this is the perfect time for it. Folks are starting to look into those summer projects. My buddy Riley the other night was talking about, you know what, I think I'm going to redo the garage. I want to rip out some of these cabinets. The Home and Garden Expo at Home and Garden Show and Emergency Expo at Central Park all weekend long is the place to start. And that's not all that's going on this weekend. When we get back, we're going to talk to Kevin McDonald. He's the CEO of the Santa Clarita Senior Center. He's got one of my favorite events of the year taking place this weekend as well. It's going to be so much fun for such an amazing cause. Stay tuned for Kevin. He's coming in right after this. I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. Joining me now is Kevin McDonald. Kevin is everybody's best friend here at KHTS. He's the CEO of the Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center. Kevin holds a degree in business administration from the University of Dayton in Ohio and an MBA from UC Berkeley. Throughout his life, Kevin has worked serving others. In July of 2016, Kevin came to the Santa Clarita Senior Center as CEO and has done absolutely incredible things in expanding the services and sustaining those essential services throughout the pandemic. Boy, that really threw you a curveball, I'm sure. Kevin, welcome back to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
Gosh, I didn't even think to put that out there, but talk about that. You had this amazing opportunity in 2016. The center and your board had incredible plans for this great new building that we'll talk about later on. And you get in, you get your hands dirty, you get into the new building, and then just record scratch. Talk to me about the experience of the pandemic.
Well, it was something else because we weren't sure what was going to happen. And I remember it was March 13th. Yeah. And we got the call when the NBA shut down that week. I said, this is serious if they're shutting down the NBA. Yeah. And I got up on the stage at lunch and I told about a little over 100 people were there. And I said, listen, they're shutting us down something called COVID. And I'll see you probably in 2 to 3 months.
Oh, really? Because the rest of us were saying 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. And I said 2 to 3 months to be safe, and then being quite a bit longer than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh.
But we closed the doors, and then that afternoon we decided we have to feed our folks. So we're doing drive-through. Yeah. And we were the first drive-through program out there, and the cars kept coming, and they're still coming. How many years later?
Right.
So the drive-through was kind of a new invention out of necessity because we also said we're not going to stop our services or our programs. You can't come in the same building. You can't be together right now. But we will do a drive-through, and our Meals on Wheels tripled in no time because people were naturally homebound.
Right.
And so the county was very flexible with our services, and we just called drivers from everywhere. And it was those courageous volunteers, again, who went out there, all the rumors about COVID, and they went out there and they served those meals. And they knocked on their doors. They stayed there 6 feet away, but boy, did they provide a great service. Yeah. And that drive-through, what happened right after COVID started was all the rains came and the cold. So we're out in the drive-through with these city slickers on and everything else. And, just our volunteers were out there and our staff, and just they had a good time doing it, and was loved to do the service. And everyone that came through was just grateful for a meal.
Yeah. I'm a people watcher by nature. And during that time, I watched leaders in the community. I watched businesses. I watched individuals to see how they would respond to something totally unprecedented. And there were kind of 3 levels of response. I saw people who had said, well, COVID, we can't. Right. There was that kind of middle level of folks and businesses that said, okay, COVID, so can we? But what y'all did at the senior center is you said, this is the need. How can we? It wasn't a matter of can we. We've got to. Mm-hmm. So let's just figure it out. And you did. And it was. And then you've moved some of those services into that kind of crisis into a better way of serving your clients post pandemic.
New opportunities came up. I remember the start of COVID. Cameron Smythe, our current mayor, he was a mayor then too. I call him the COVID mayor. And he came right into our kitchen to thank our staff who are cooking meals every day because they didn't stop cooking. Well, and, him coming to give thanks. And the next day, Ken Striplin came with Frank Avita, and they came to give us masks. And I'm like, boy, we have some support out here. People got our backs.
Yeah, that was great to see,
That was a big boost for me and for everybody else saying, no, just let's keep on rolling.
Yeah, the city does a great job of supporting organizations like the Senior Center and others. But let's talk about you first, Kevin, for folks that don't know, because you're a very humble guy, but you've had an amazing career. Talk to us about how long you've been in this line of work and how you came to the center.
I've been in this work I've been a CEO for over 30 years, I guess, right now.
All right. Wow.
Which has been nice.
But you've been in the industry of public service and taking care of others for a lot longer than that, haven't you?
Yeah, well, my family grew up that way. Yeah. And we all went into some sort of service, and I was lucky to hook up with an organization called the ARC, serving people with developmental disabilities. And I did that for over 25 years, still in touch with them and working with them and volunteering with them. And that was a great love for me. And then I got the call that there was an opportunity in Santa Clarita, that they may be building a new building and wanted to expand services for seniors. And I said, let's go check it out.
And our community is so fortunate to have found you. And now I want to jump right into this. The center has got its signature event coming up tomorrow night. It's an event that I've attended for years and I'm really looking forward to. Typically, we talk about, we would talk about what the center does, but I want to get right to this event because I know that our listeners are going to want to, while we're talking about the center, they're going to want to get online and they're going to want to get their tickets. So let's talk about it. I'm talking about Celebrity Waiter. It's always such a fun event. Tell our listeners who may not know, what is Celebrity Waiter all about?
It's really our signature fundraising event. Yeah. It's coming together. The community's coming together. just to support all of our programs and services. We try to use them at no charge for most of our programs, and this is a big fundraising event for us. And it's a celebration. It's a celebration of the past year and a celebration of services. And we also celebrate our volunteers tomorrow.
Yeah, and I love that you're celebrating the volunteers. It is such a fun event. I remember last year I wasn't able to make the event, but I hooked up with some folks afterwards. You know, my brother Big T. He was dressed up, I think, as Napoleon. It was not a good sight.
I'm not sure what Tony was dressed up. We're still wondering what he was dressed up as last year, but
he had zinc oxide on his
sunscreen
nose
on, whatever he was doing. I'm not quite sure.
So is there a theme this year? Well,
our theme is, and we have two co-chairs, Jackie Hartman
right.
and Bonnie Tieford, who's our current president, and they came up with California Dreamin'.
I love that.
And then we let it go.
All right.
And what's come out of California Dreamin' is, what do you dream about in California? You know, are you a backpacker and a hiker?
Okay.
Are you a beach bum? Do you love the vineyards? Do you love the Golden Gate area? Just so many different options. So we're going to have 32 tables tomorrow night, and they're going to be filled with different themes of what people think about in California. There's one rock star table that I understand is coming.
All right, very cool.
California rock stars from the 70s.
Absolutely. Everybody comes to California to make it big. Yeah. Very good. I love that. You know, I love the beach here in California. Like you said, I love the wine. So I think maybe I'm just going to show up in a pair of board shorts and drink wine all night.
That sounds just fine with us. Just remember your pocketbook.
All right. There we go. Remember your pocketbook. Yeah, because this is a fundraiser.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about all the different services that this event goes to funding. But you've got a silent auction. You've got a silent auction and a live auction.
But just a live auction.
Just a live auction.
We're going live. Yes.
All right. So talk to me about some of the auction items that are available.
You know, if you're coming to this event, and we tell people to pair up with somebody else, we have a cruise up and down the coast of California.
All right.
So we're excited to put that out there.
There we go. California cruising.
There you go. And we're going outside of California because we got a great condo out of Park City during ski season.
Sweet.
It's a sweet Marriott. It's a Marriott suite, so it is
sweet.
We have a lake house out in Massachusetts. And then we have so many more. We have an airplane ride coming through,
nice,
and many different things. So we're excited. There's one item. There's a hike with Kevin to the Hollywood sign.
All right,
so I take people up to the Hollywood sign each year. And if you don't want to hike with me, you can take a horseback.
Oh, cool!
And we take care of that, and then we take you to an Irish pub afterwards. So.
Well,
what a great live auction item.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gosh, so many great things and for a great cause. Now, this event, we talked about your involvement with the center and how that's shifted because of the pandemic. This event was affected a bit by the pandemic as well. I remember it was quite a bit different before the pandemic. You shifted because of the pandemic, and it's changed kind of maybe forever since. Can you talk about what it used to be like and what it looks like now?
Well, our big change right before the pandemic, we had it inside our grand ballroom, and it was packed. And then when the pandemic broke, we moved outside and took a chance in the summer with an outside event. And people loved it. People love hanging outside. Yeah. We've got the lights out there. We got the fires burning for tomorrow night. And it's more of a relaxed event, I think.
Yeah.
Is that you are outside and just enjoying the evening with some friends. And that's what's changed. And also our celebrity waiter in that theme is we honor volunteers each year.
Yeah.
You know, we are so lucky. We have over 200 volunteers service each and every month. And they're there today. There's probably 15 people there today who are volunteering their services and 19 drivers. And what a day, that's why Celebrity Waiter has changed. It's like, what's your focus? What's your mission? Our mission is to serve seniors. And who's serving them? Not just the paid staff, but all these volunteers that come in.
It's beautiful. And, for folks who haven't been to the center, they're going to quickly see why so many people volunteer. It's something that they're going to want to get involved in, whether it's bidding on some of those live auction items tomorrow or just getting a ticket to the event or maybe showing up and volunteering themselves. Let's talk about some of those services because this event is to support the services that y'all provide. The center, the senior center here in Santa Clarita is truly one of the most impressive and inspiring organizations in town. Tell us about the center and all the different services that your team provide.
Well, first and foremost, we're a private nonprofit organization.
All right.
We're not the city, the county, or the state. We are a private organization, and thus we must raise almost $1 million a year just to break even.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're supported by the County of Los Angeles, which is good
Sure.
to us. The city is good to us.
Yep.
But there's going to be that gap because government can't do everything.
Well,
and that's where we step it up.
You know, I love my friends at the city council and love our supervisor, Catherine Barger, and they all support you. But, you know, we've seen government doesn't always work the most efficiently, and private industry and your board do such a great job of providing these services really efficiently. But there's that gap, like you said.
There's that funding gap, and this is one way to help us out. And even if you can't make the event, you can go online and hit that Donate Now button.
Fantastic.
And boom, you know, if you can't make it, make the donation now to help us celebrate, you know, the great year and all these services and supports.
Yeah, you know, when you first opened the building, I went with my boss. I toured the center, and every time we turned the corner, it was like, wow, I can't believe that you guys do this too. Can you share with our listeners some of the services that, you know, a senior who rolls into the building experience?
Yeah, you know, the first that catches your eye is the Grand Ballroom, where we're serving meals every single day, nutrition services for those that are 60 and over.
Yeah.
So people come for the food, and they can smell the food coming out of there, and our cooks are there at 5:30 in the morning doing that. So people think of food. People also think of support services. We have care managers. I call, you know, they're social workers.
Sure.
And our care managers are meeting with seniors throughout the whole day, on the phone with them or in person, taking care of those senior needs. And I think that's one of our underestimated the value of, you know, I saw the social workers before I came over this morning, working hard to meet those needs of seniors in crisis. That's happening. We have our handiworker program, which Nikki runs for us, and serving seniors and, you know, fixing their house up, basically, for low-income folks.
Yeah.
And they're doing 70 to 80 houses a year with our handiworker team and getting out there. So that's not really known. And then I'll stroll through our Alzheimer's Day program. And it's a respite place for folks with Alzheimer's to come at the senior center. Most people don't know about that. And it's a licensed program by the state of California. And we're very proud of what they're doing and the seniors are serving. And really that respite to the families.
Yeah.
You can have your loved one come by for 4 or 5 hours a day. They can have lunch with us. And it changes their lives and gives those caregivers who we love a break.
Absolutely. And one of the things that that is often the most dangerous when you get to be a certain age is the solitude, right? You're hanging around at home. You don't really interact with a lot of folks, and it can cause, you know, even your physical health to kind of go downhill really fast. Not happening at the center.
No, not with these classes. I mean, you're doing your Tai Chi. The Tai Chi folks are there this morning. You got your Zumba. You got your sit and be fit classes. 30 different classes we offer, all for free. And those seniors are coming to do that. And if they can't make it, they get online and do it.
Yeah.
And they take it via Zoom. Because we you know, we think we invented Zoom.
Sure.
But boy, Zoom really works. And it works in the post-pandemic era for those that are homebound.
Yeah.
So we're doing a major push right now is to reach out to those that are homebound, take our classes, get online, watch Jenny, watch our other instructors, just go at it during the day.
Or go to the center and hang out with a couple hundred of your closest friends.
Right, why not?
Yeah.
Take some exercise, grab some food, hang out in the courtyard. It's you know, we like to call it a country club for seniors, and we try to make it that way and not the old person's, your grandfather's senior center. It is not.
Well, I remember what I told you when we first toured the center is I can't wait to get old. It really looks like a lot of fun.
Take your time, Matt.
It does, yes. Well,
Trust me.
But it is. It's a country club for seniors, and so much provided by your dedicated volunteers. But you go well beyond the borders of our city here in Santa Clarita. I understand that you and your team reach out to the Antelope Valley as well. Can you tell our listeners how you support seniors up north?
Sure. I mean, the county came to us in 2018 saying, can you provide nutrition services? We love what you do for Santa Clarita. Can you extend it into the Antelope Valley?
Yeah.
And we're providing Meals on Wheels for Antelope Valley, and also social workers as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We have a county kitchen there that we use, and we built out a ton of meals there.
Yeah.
And serving that community that's in need for them, and we're happy to provide that service, and we've been doing it since 2018.
You say a ton of meals. You know, one of my favorite parts of the Celebrity Waiter event that, again, is coming up tomorrow night is when you get up on stage and you start rattling off the statistics, the data. I'm hoping you brought in some numbers to share with our listeners, just to share the incredible impact that you have at the Santa Clarita Senior Center. Can you share a little bit with us?
Sure. I mean, our Meals on Wheels program, we have the largest Meals on Wheels program in Los Angeles County between Antelope Valley and Santa Clarita Valley.
Wow. Yeah, I bet.
And that's an unknown. Today, they're going to put out probably 520 meals that are going. You'll see our 19 cars out on the road in Santa Clarita Valley today, providing all those over 500 meals for those seniors in need. and getting that warmth embrace from our, our volunteers that are delivering those meals, and they're hot and delicious, and they're cooked right on site. Many people use vendors for their meals. Nope, we're cooking them fresh daily, fresh ingredients. And if we don't like it, we tell the cooks, and they make the adjustment.
Nice, I love that.
And they are so good to us. And I think that and the other part, we're doing almost 2,000 meals a day out of Bella Vita. 2,000 meals a day they're making every single day.
So you're delivering 500
but
direct to homes, and then serving over 2,000 there at the center.
Altogether, yes. Altogether, yes. Because our drive-through is still active with about 700 people going through our drive-through every day still.
Love that.
And then people come in and have lunch with us in our grand dining hall and in the courtyard.
Yeah.
So lots of different ways to get food from us. If you have to be 60 and over, you have to qualify. But the only qualification is you have to be 60. And sign our long county forms, and after that, you're in.
Sure, and I don't want to underscore the importance of the Meals on Wheels program. You and I and the volunteer that runs the program, we're talking about showing up at folks' homes, delivering a freshly cooked hot meal every day, but then oftentimes that'll be the only person that senior, that person that might be homebound, interacts with on a daily basis, and you oftentimes encounter folks who might be in crisis today.
Our program has saved lives.
Yeah.
They care about the person. If the person's not home, they'll be calling them. They'll be knocking on their door several times. They don't give up until they see that person.
Yeah.
As part of that wellness. And they've had people in crisis, and they've called 911 and helped that person out. So those volunteers do incredible work. But you're right. It's wellness. It's checking on the person. Yeah. It's more than just a meal. That's Meals on Wheels America's slogan. It's more than just a meal, and it sure is.
I tell you what, you've got to get involved with the Santa Clarita Senior Center. I'm talking to Kevin McDonald, CEO of the center. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this amazing building that's providing all these services and the incredible team of volunteers that help make it all happen. Stick around. I'm Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and I'm joined this morning by Kevin McDonald, CEO of the Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center. Kevin, I just dropped on our Facebook Live feed. That's right, we are not just on the radio, we are also on Facebook Live. I dropped the link to the Senior Center as well as the Celebrity Waiter event. You've got some amazing services taking place at the Senior Center. You talked about it before the break. Over 2,000 meals being served every day, and just basically every need that a senior citizen in Santa Clarita and beyond might have, they can contact your staff. You mentioned the handy workers, that if folks need stuff done around the house, they show up. Before the break, we were talking about the signature event coming up tomorrow night. I'm talking about Celebrity Waiter. It's going to be held right there in the building, which is something that previously you hadn't been able to do. I understand the building itself is celebrating a bit of an anniversary or a milestone. How many years has it been?
We're celebrating 5 years that we opened Bella Vita.
Wow. Okay.
So, April 24th, 2019. And your mother was involved very much, Elizabeth Hopp, and with Peggy Rasmussen and Julie Sturgeon. What a lineup of people to help us get that building going. And those are the presidents during that era. And we were so lucky to have them on our team. And the planning was all before, and then the grand opening, and we had 700 people pack a ballroom that day just to celebrate, and you cannot get into the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really a beautiful building, and I love that it's been themed. You call it Bella Vita, so tell us what this building has enabled, kind of where you came from, the building you were in previously, and what this significant investment, because y'all partnered with several different groups to make this happen.
Yeah.
So can you explain the process of getting into the new building and what it's made possible?
It's a great example that I consider of a nonprofit working with government and the community together.
Yeah.
And I hope other people take advantage of what the magic that can happen in Santa Clarita. We are so fortunate. But we were planning to build a building, and we set it up to be 30,000 square feet, and we had to raise between $11 and $12 million, and game on. And then what happens? Well, the County of Los Angeles jumps in, and they give us over $3.5 million. What a great, Catherine Barger and her team. They were so lucky. And then the city comes in with $3.5 million, and and then we went out to the community, and they did the other third. So 1/3 from the city, 1/3 from the county, and 1/3 from over 1,000 individual donors stepped up to the plate and said, we want a new senior center. And that's what happened. And then the construction started And then we tried to figure out a name. Boy, this was hoot and a holler trying to figure out a name for this. We didn't want to call it a senior center because we didn't want that old vision in your head of a senior center.
Sunset Farm.
Right. Right. So we're sitting in a crummy boardroom and trying to figure it out. And someone said, "What about Bella Vita?" And I said, "I have no idea. What are you talking about? What is Bella Vita?" Well, Bella Vita means beautiful life.
Yeah.
And then that came alive. And I thought it had the last chance to pass. And it got through the board. And then we've taken advantage of it. So Bella Vita means beautiful life. And our goal is to give every senior a beautiful life when you come and visit us. So the building's name is Bella Vita. So you're coming to Bella Vita tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, and I'm excited
about it. You're not coming
about
to the senior center. You're coming to Bella Vita. And we've totally embraced that, what it means, and it means for our seniors of a beautiful life, and we do everything that we can just to make that happen.
Well, yeah, they say 60 is the new 30,
right?
And who wants to talk about going to sit at the senior center and just kind of waiting for God knows what, right? But no, I'm going to Bella Vita. It's my country club.
It's a Bella Vita experience, and that's what we want to share.
It really is. And I asked you before, but let's talk about some of the other things going on at Bella Vita every day, or maybe not every day, but every once in a while. I mean, when I was there, I saw Wii bowling leagues. I saw folks working on their driver's license.
Yeah, they have just about everything. We have a health and wellness lecture every Wednesday. We bring in the top people from UCLA and USC, doctors and nurses to share information. We have just had one on Medicare. So every week we try to impart knowledge upon our seniors with that. But they also have the fun activities that are going on. We have the arts class by Teresa, a great art instructor who's famous, and she's there showing our people how to do art during the day. From the needle crafters group to like even the international Wii bowling team is there as well.
It's an international bowling team.
Yes, this is for real.
I love that.
And then we have the pickleball court, of course, and some of the other more aggressive things that we do. But each class also has a sitting component because we have to have that adaptation in there. So Sit and Be Fit is a real class, and everyone who needs a chair can use a chair, and we go from there. So lots of opportunities to explore. We have trips and tours. We're going to Ireland next month.
Get out.
And we're going to Ireland next month. We're going to Yosemite in June. And we just finished coming back from Vegas. So trips and tours is all over the place. And it's a nice opportunity for seniors to go together with the Anderson girls as our travel agent. And they book everything for us and work with us as a team. So lots of opportunities to get out in the world.
Love that. I know during the summer months in the past, y'all have done drive-in movies, not just for the seniors. Are you planning drive-in movies
we stopped the drive-in movies because people can get movies at home, but we do have a concert every single month. So we have a concert series that beats anybody. And we bring in the best bands. Mr. Rock and Roll out of LA, he books our acts for us and sends them up. And tomorrow night at Celebrity Waiter, you'll see the Beach Boys, a tribute band.
Sweet.
They're called Surfin', the Beach Boys tribute band, and they're coming in, and some of those folks are local, and we usually bring them in for Christmas. We're bringing them in for California Dreamin', of course.
There we go. Mom didn't tell me I was getting the Beach Boys tribute. Absolutely love that. Gosh, so all kinds of amazing stuff going on out there. Kevin, I was actually fortunate enough to be able to attend a kind of a unique event at the Senior Center recently. I'm talking about a very special birthday party, and I don't mean to embarrass you. I know you're a humble guy, but can you talk to me about the birthday party that you celebrated there at Bella Vita recently?
Well, I celebrated becoming a senior, and that's what we did this year. When you turn 60, you're an official senior because you can get a meal. So I got my first free meal.
All right.
at Bella Vita, along with everybody else. And that was it's a time of transition. And I was trying to take it and embrace it, but at the same time share with the community all the benefits of becoming a senior in the Santa Clarita Valley. So I can work there, I can play there, I can do everything there now, being a senior and just welcoming that and then learning from our seniors. The most important thing is having those conversations and learning what the seniors before me can share about how they navigate life after 60. Yeah, because there's a lot to navigate. And a lot of fun to have.
And, some folks would say, oh, gosh, that's really self-serving. You throw yourself a birthday party at the Senior Center. It was the exact opposite.
No, our goal was to send the message out.
Absolutely. And one of the things you did is you said, hey, I'm turning 60. I'm becoming a senior. Let's highlight the services available at the center. You want to come celebrate with me?
All right.
Donate $60 to the center for my 60th.
That's right, $60. And we bring in a great band. And we brought in the John Denver Tribute Badge.
When I heard John Denver Tribute Band, I thought, well, that's cool. I like some John Denver songs. That guy was amazing.
Yes. Well, you know all the songs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we take that concert series and we wrap it around with about 11 concerts a year. So, and we have a great summer lineup coming up, too.
Yeah.
So Rod Stewart's coming to visit us in May.
Fantastic.
And we're just booked for the summer. So we're looking forward to some outdoor concerts as well.
I love that. So, and I want to clarify for our listeners, though that concert series, is that something just for the seniors only?
No, it's open to the public. It sells out within 2 days. We have 400
does.
seats available, and we keep ticket prices low at $10.
Wow.
And game on. Let's go celebrate together. And it's really, the community and the seniors coming together, have a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
And that fellowship and that warmness and that sharing times with each other, whether you're breaking bread or you're singing at a concert, it's all good. It's all good, healthy. It's healthy for the heart, healthy for the mind.
And again, I can't think of a need that a senior might have that y'all aren't working to help them meet. And it's not cheap. You've got you said it requires at least $1 million to meet the needs of what y'all are doing every single day, and you do that in large part through this event. And I want to talk about it one more time. Celebrity Waiter. It's sure, it's nice that I get to feel like a philanthropist doing it, but it's really one of my favorite social events of the year. Tell us again, give us the particulars, who, what, when, where, why, how can we get tickets to the seat?
Tickets are going fast. We're just about sold out. If you want to call our hotline today, 661-259-9444, and tell me you want a ticket for Celebrity Waiter. You heard it over the radio, and we'll get you a spot. And so it's tomorrow night in our Bella Vita courtyard starting at 5 o'clock. The tribute band starts right at 5, so be there. We have a wonderful dinner prepared by our executive chefs and our executive team.
I love that.
We're all cooking it fresh inside Bella Vita. So Cindy Smith and Chef Marco Rios and our full team and banquet team headed up by Gina B are putting a show on. So we're looking forward to a great night tomorrow night.
Yeah, and nothing against our friends at the Hyatt, but they just simply cannot touch what Cindy and Marco are able to do.
Yes.
And again, the theme for the event is California Dreamin'. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, and yeah, come California casual. I'm going to come wicked California casual tomorrow night. I'm going to be rocking my short pants and my sandals. And again, 259-9444 to get tickets. Can folks get tickets online as well?
No, just on that phone call today, because the event's tomorrow. So if you want to get in, this is hot.
All right. So yeah, tell you what, don't do it right now because we've still got a few more minutes of the show going on. But as soon as we're done with the show, call 259-9444 to get tickets for Celebrity Waiter, benefiting all the amazing services that they've got going on at the Santa Clarita Senior Center. Kevin, I talked before you came on. There's just a ton of stuff going on in town. There's so much going on this weekend. The spring is always really busy, and somebody might say, fiddlesticks, I'm not able to get out there tomorrow night. We've got grandma's birthday that we're celebrating, or we're going out to the ball game, or what have you. But you need support all year round, and you depend on more than just this event. Or maybe somebody's excited about everything you're doing and saying, well, I'd like to make a difference in the life of a senior, and I want to do it more than just by giving of my money. How can folks either donate or do you have room for more people to volunteer?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, both. You can always donate on our website, myscvcoa.org. And if you get on their website, there's a big Donate Now button on the front page. You can do it that way. And as your mother has shown you and the rest of the community, volunteering is critical for us as her years and years of service with the Senior Center and making a difference. So if you want to be the next Elizabeth Hopp, come join us and volunteer in some capacity with us.
I love that. So one more time, the website is myscvcoa.org, myscvcoa.org. Right here, upper right-hand corner, donate. Right next to it, I see the link to Celebrity Waiter. Fantastic. You've got a lot going on out there at the center. But right now, the only way to get tickets is to call that phone number. Really easy to remember. Again, 259-9444. Kevin, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. I want to thank you and your team for the amazing work that you do so humbly, so quietly to serve the needs of those. It's interesting. In Spanish, they refer to your senior years as the third chapter. And so you're serving those in their third chapter. Kevin, you mentioned Mom a couple of times. Mom is about to tune in. She typically doesn't tune in until her favorite son comes on the air. And you know my brother, Tony. Mom makes me put him on the air, every week. So even though he moved away, she still says, I don't care if he doesn't live around here anymore. You let him call in. Because I guess I can't have nice things of my own. So Tony, he's got trivia questions. He likes to goof off and hog the airwaves a little bit. So can you stick around and maybe support me a little bit?
I'll support you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Tell you what, you stick around as well. Tony's got some trivia questions, and you can play along at home or in your car as well. Big T, give us a call, brother. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I'm Matt Watson with Kevin McDonald from the Santa Clarita Senior Center, and this is your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. And now it is time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Y'all know Big T. He's an executive and a philanthropist. He's an amazing father, husband, community leader. As a matter of fact, Big T once chaired the Senior Center Celebrity Waiter event that we were just talking about. He is a world traveler. He's Big T. He's kind of pointless, but he is mom's favorite. Here he is, everybody. Big T, welcome to the show.
Morning, gentlemen. I chaired it 2 years in a row, Maddie.
2 years in a row. Fantastic. For those who just tuned in, like Mom, we were talking previously with the CEO of the Santa Clarita Senior Center, Kevin McDonald. Despite his better judgment, Kevin decided to stick around with us and play with us this morning. Kevin, thank you very much. Tony, say hello to Kevin.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Good, Tony. Good to hear you. Good to hang out with
Good.
you guys this morning. I miss seeing you,
ahead.
too. I said it's good to hang out with both of you this morning.
Absolutely. I heard a little bit of ripping on my costume from last year at the Celebrity Waiter. And
what was that,
I was
Tony?
fully prepared to come in and defend myself, but it was probably the worst outfit ever. It was supposed to be Napoleon's spring break.
Okay, because the theme was springtime in Paris. It was Napoleon on spring break. So, Jen, if you can imagine, you've met Big T in person. Napoleon, Big T, and spring break. It was an odd combination.
Well, I don't know if that costume really jives with Tony's vibe.
Well, he had the tails,
right?
But instead of the I don't know what are they? The riding pants. He had like short Bermudas, white, zinc oxide on the nose, and I think a sign that said something like "Where's the chicks?" or something like that. I don't know.
So hey, I will just never miss an opportunity for a spring break. Obviously.
Right.
See, that's your vibe. Not necessarily Napoleon. The spring break is his vibe.
Tony's got his 4-year degree, but for some reason he went on spring break for like 7 years in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, my hypocrisy has no bounds.
There we go. What about your trivia? Does anything bind your trivia, Tony?
I've got some good trivia this morning. I've got a little mix of some music trivia, some sports trivia, maybe some cartoon characters thrown in, and of course your favorite Frogger, a little bit of math.
Not good, Kevin. I taught 4th grade math for years. I just can't do 4th grade math. Big T, we've got a little bit of a runway for you. You got about 10 minutes, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, before you do, Kevin, you want to be careful. Tony's going to throw out some questions, and don't just shout out the answer. You got to hit your buzzer first. It's kind of like Jeopardy.
Okay.
Your buzzer is your name.
Gotcha.
Right? So you just call out Kevin. This segment, I go by Frogger. No one knows why. But the folks at home... Come on, Tony. We're on the air right now.
We have plenty of time. We can delve into why.
No, Tony's got lots of trivia for us we've got to get to. The folks at home, they do get an advantage, Kevin. They don't have to shout out their names. They can just shout out the answer. But you and I have known each other for quite a while. You're a pretty smart guy. I don't think the advantage is going to help him much this morning. But let's see. Tony, what do you got for us?
Perfect. Let's go ahead and get rolling. So last night was the NFL draft. Who was the first player chosen in last night's draft?
Frogger.
Frogger.
That was Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams out of USC, correct.
It's not going to go well.
The draft actually opened up with 14 offensive players chosen, which was a record. Who was the first defensive player chosen?
Anyone? Anyone?
No.
All right. Frogger. That would be UCLA Bruin Liatu Latu.
I'll give that to you. Latu Liatu.
Can you spell
it? We'll give it to you. What's the capital city of Spain?
Jen?
Oh,
no, that's, I was going to say Lisbon. That's Portugal. Never mind. I lost it.
Anybody?
Frogger, is it Madrid?
It is Madrid.
All right, Tony, I want to take a step back here. The first defensive player taken overall last night, what was his name?
Leatu.
Latu is his first name? We're sure about that, Tony.
Uh-oh.
Tell you what, we'll have the judges look into it. We'll get back to you.
I don't know. There's a laptop in front of him,
Should
Tony.
we take the point away? Should we take the point away from you then, Matt?
No, because I got the question right. The young man's name is Leatu Latu.
It's Leatu Latu.
All right, don't correct me.
All right.
Mom! Mom, he's doing
fighting
it again.
on the air. No fighting.
We already got past USC and UCLA in one minute.
We did.
What's the clinical name for the thigh bone?
Jen? The femur?
Femur's correct.
Good call.
Where did Aaron Rodgers play college football?
Kevin?
Oh, you better
Cal
get
Berkeley.
this. There we go.
UC Berkeley.
That is Cal Berkeley, correct. Good pull, Kevin.
He's a bear.
This Hall of Fame tight end averaged 6.8 points in basketball while he played at Cal and led them to the Sweet 16 in 1997. Who is he?
Tight end, also a basketball star?
Yep. At Cal.
Kevin? Jason Kidd?
Kevin. Jason Kidd is not correct. Hall of Fame tight end with the Chiefs.
All right, so Frogger? You going Travis Kelce?
Incorrect.
Okay.
Tony Gonzalez. Really? Did he play basketball? Yes, he did.
Wow. All right.
Yep. What famous cereal mascot's first name and middle names are Horatio Magellan, and he helms a ship called the Guppy and sports a Napoleon-style hat?
Kevin? Captain Crunch?
Oh,
Captain Crunch is correct. Nice pull, Kevin.
I'm thinking cereal with an S, not with a C.
I miss my Captain Crunch days.
Oh boy,
You know?
Yeah, that stuff just tears up
Maybe
the
right
roof of
after
your
the
mouth,
show,
man. There we go. We'll go out for a bowl of. You do the original or the peanut butter. You do the crunch berries.
Original.
All right, I'm a
We
peanut
don't
butter
need
crunch
the
guy.
extra stuff. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
That Cookie Crisp used to always give a little bit of extra tear on the roof of your mouth.
Yes. It was worth it, though.
Agreed.
You can't have chocolate chip cookies for breakfast.
Correct. What's Babe Ruth's first name?
Ooh.
You're right. It's not Babe. Frogger. It's Herman.
Incorrect. That's his middle name.
Oh. All right. Now I can hear James Earl Jones saying it in Sandlot.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody?
Frogger, go ahead for no points.
Okay, I don't have it.
Oh, you mean George?
It's George.
That's a terrible James Earl Jones.
George is correct. Who's the only player to quarterback their teams to the Rose Bowl, the Grey Cup, and the Super Bowl?
Remind us what the Grey Cup is.
He did take Cal to the Rose Bowl, Kevin.
Okay. Frogger?
Is
that John Elway?
Incorrect. John Elway played at Stanford, Matt.
That's
Don't
right,
ever say that again.
That other no-Cal school.
It's actually Joe Cap.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Joe
One of the
Cap.
originals.
All right.
One of the originals from Cal.
What conference will Cal join next year?
Kevin? Atlantic Coast Conference?
Kevin. I'm sorry?
ACC?
ACC is correct. Sorry. You are correct.
Good job.
Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Jennifer. Is that Leonardo da Vinci?
That is correct.
I don't know why my full name came out. That was weird.
You caught me by surprise.
You
know
said
what?
Leonardo, and I thought DiCaprio, but that's not it.
I think I was thinking I was going to say Da Vinci. I thought, no, I should probably make sure I include the full name, and then out comes my full name.
Oh, I see.
All right.
That's funny. Maine borders which U.S. state?
Frogger? Vermont.
Incorrect.
Kevin? New Hampshire?
New Hampshire's correct. Nice pull, Kevin.
Wow.
What's the body of water between Florida and Texas called?
Frogger.
Jen.
Frogger.
Gulf of Mexico.
That is correct. How many syllables are there in the word Mississippi?
Jen.
4. 4 is correct.
I don't know if the listeners can hear me, but I'm tapping my fingers on the counter.
It's always fun to say that word in Spanish too, Frogger.
All right, so here's a little joke for our Spanish language listeners. Jen, do you know how to say Mississippi in Spanish?
No, I do not.
Misi pipi. It's not funny unless you realize that in Spanish, misi pipi means I just peed myself.
Oh, nice. Good.
We got issues.
There we go.
I'll have to share that.
What exercise combines a squat, a push-up, and a jump in the air?
Jen.
Jen.
A burpee.
That is a burpee. What's the name of the high school in Greece?
Jen.
Jen.
Rydell High.
Awesome. Nice pull.
Okay, again, like you, Kevin, I'm thinking Greece, not Grease.
Oh,
Right,
Greece.
right.
Greece is the word.
I was going overseas.
That is the word. So was I. I'm like, I don't know. It's all Greek to me.
In what movie does Robert De Niro say, "You talking to me?"
Frogger.
Frogger.
That's Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver's correct. What decade was Jaws released?
Jen.
Jen.
The 70s.
70s is correct. I forgot you were a Jaws
I'm a
expert.
Jaws nut, yes.
What college did Pete Maravich and Shaq both play basketball for?
Frogger. Kevin.
Frogger.
LSU.
LSU is correct. Legion of Boom was the nickname for the defensive backfield in the 2010s for what football team?
Oh, Frogger.
Frogger.
Liam's going to kill me that I didn't get this earlier. That's the Seattle Seahawks.
That is the Seattle Seahawks. How much is 14 times 5?
Oh, gosh.
Frogger.
Frogger.
It's like 70 or something.
70 is correct.
All right.
There you go.
There's our math guy. There's a math guy who says he doesn't know sports.
Or
He knows.
something. Yeah.
70 somewhere. What general led U.S. troops during the Vietnam War?
Frogger.
Frogger.
General Foods. General
Incorrect.
Mills.
Anybody else?
General Mills.
General
No.
Motors.
Schwarzkopf.
General William Westmoreland.
Yeah.
Okay. How many points does it take to bowl a perfect game in bowling?
300. Oh, Kevin, 300.
Kevin is correct at 300.
I was going with all of them.
What three horse races make up the Triple Crown?
Oh, Frogger.
Frogger.
Kentucky Derby, Belmont Stakes, and the Preakness.
That is correct. Nice pull.
I got winded on that one.
What's the signature drink at the Kentucky Derby?
Jen.
Jen.
The mint julep.
Mint julep is correct.
There we go.
What team is Gritty, a tough, furry, orange mascot who looks kind of like Justin Turner and the snack guy from the Circle K commercials? Who's he employed by?
Kevin, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia Flyers, correct. Nice pull, Kevin.
I didn't even understand that question.
I know my mascots.
All right.
When you get to
All right,
Banana Slug,
name-
let me know.
Name the music artist. Name the music artist based on these songs. Thunderstruck, Hell's Bells,
Jen.
Back in Black. Jen.
AC/DC.
AC/DC's correct. The third was Back in Black.
Jen, we're tied.
Name
We
the
got time
artist
for
by-
one more question.
Perfect. Name the artist. It's My Life. You Give Love
Jen.
a Bad Name. Jen.
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi's correct.
Oh, man. And with that, she pulled it off, Kevin. Jen had 9. I had 8. Kevin, good showing with 6. Big T, thanks for swinging by. We appreciate it. We've got to wrap it up. We want to thank our other guests as well. 8th grade facilitator from SCVi, Ally Benedetti. Her 2 learners, Nichole Sanchez and Angelina Frederick. Gosh, they were amazing. CEO of the Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center, Kevin McDonald. Get your tickets to the Celebrity Waiter event going on tomorrow night by calling 259-9444. 259-9444. Fantastic. Thank you, producer Sarah, engineer Jen, engineer Andrew, Big T, and thank you all for listening. We appreciate you. Remember, folks, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along. Be well, do good, and you know what? Head on out to Central Park this weekend for the 13th annual KHTS Home and Garden Show and Emergency Expo. It's going to be lots of fun, free of charge, lots of stuff going on this weekend. Get out there, do it. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Enjoy. Join us again next week and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.